Hey to Believe, it's Natalie, and today I have the lovely Maria with us.
Hello.
For those of you that don't know Maria, Maria is a Blue Status presenter with Team Believe, and she's going to chat with us today about some of her amazing creativity posts. So I obviously have known Maria a while, and I've seen her journey and all of her posts. So off the top of my head, I can think of quite a few of her creative posts. So we've had Let Them Grow with Maria singing as Elsa,
Yes.
with her growing eyelashes.
And my jumping child.
Oh, and a jumping Ava in the background and snowflakes. We've had obviously Unique Ariel with lipsticks, with all the lipsticks she could have. Going down, one of the first posts I remember that you did was you testing out how water resistant the makeup was, and you slid down Ava's water slide in the garden and test it. So there's probably many more I could think of, but what the point of it is that these things have stuck in my brain, not because I'm a stalker, because it's just because they've been memorable and they've been creative. They've been something different outside of the norm. So I thought it would be really handy for Maria to share with us her thought process about how she comes up with such things and how she does them, as well as juggling a job and obviously young children too. So how do you come up with some of your ideas?
Most of them are based around Ava.
Okay. Who is her daughter?
My 4-year-old daughter, who loves princesses and water slides and anything girly, really. So I feel a lot of the time, whatever I'm doing in that day will be something girly with Ava. I mean, we went to Smith's Toys Superstores last Saturday, and for some random reason, I put the Vain lipstick on, the really bright fuchsia pink lipstick, and thought I'd make a joke out of the fact that I never go out anymore. So I'm wearing a bright pink lipstick with Superstores, and took a selfie with this in the background, and that worked out really well, because I think mums just couldn't identify that. No, I don't go out anymore either. But
so I'm going to wear Vain lipstick to try that. And I think that's what's really good, is that if you see Maria's post, is that she comes across as really natural and genuine. You can see that her unique business kind of just automatically slots into her life. It's not too forced, it's not too pushy, it's not too salesy. Occasionally there's a graphic merged into some of your photos, isn't there? But more often than not, there's always a picture of you or a person.
Insta collage.
That's one of the questions. Stop jumping.
Sorry.
But they're quite natural, and they're about her day-to-day life. So like things you do with Ava. The one the other day, you was wearing your Raymac, and you said something about wearing a Raymac. Your hair might be a mess, but your makeup's done, kind of thing. But what it shares to your audience is that unique doesn't need to be a separate thing from your life, and it doesn't have to be really salesy. So from some of them posts, what kind of feedback do you get from some of them?
I will find now, if I post any kind of corporate image, no one will ever press the like button. I do still do it when I feel like I need to sort of show something for the day, but they're very. I think people will expect now to see me doing stupid things.
You've set the bar too high.
I have set the bar high. So my what I used to do before you told me about the photograph trip. Do you want to tell it? I remember I was in that porch once, and she said to me, when you look at someone's holiday photos, do you ever really want to look at the ones of scenery, or do you want to look at the ones of the drunk people? And it really stuck in my mind that that's so true. When you look at people's holiday photos, the scenery is really boring. So now
you automatically almost scan for the face, don't you?
So I kind of think of like the corporate product pictures now as the scenery, and me as the drunk person, except I'm not drunk.
Wow.
Sometimes, maybe on Tuesday night at the Coop.
So, but what's good is that so when you're thinking of a post, do you start in your thought process of, here's the product I want to share?
No.
Is it that thought out, or do you just go, oh,
I think, what random thing am I doing today, and what product fits best with that? Unless it's unless I feel like there's something in particular I want to push. Like if I want to do like a mascara thing, then I'll make sure whatever the thought was, I'll make it mascara related.
So they can be some of your posts are more thought out, so planned ahead.
Yeah,
things like the Elsa, obviously, in your
Amy Winehouse.
Oh yes, of course. How could I forget Amy Winehouse look-alike? But some of them are still quite.
Some of them are very much on the moment. I'll do that now. Some of them are like a couple of weeks in the planning. Okay. Depends how much time I've got.
So some of your posts, like your Amy Winehouse one, which obviously had a bit of a build up to it because you engaged with people about lookalikes and that previous, and then you did the lookalike thing. What was the sort of feedback from that? Do you actually get? Is it just engagement? Is it just likes, or do people then convert and actually buy product?
Yeah, I think that was the most liked picture I've ever had. I think it was like 56 likes. Oh no, it might not have been that much, but it was up there. And I think on that day, I think I had 4 new likes to my younique page, and you can't tell if an order's come from it, can you? But I definitely had a bit of a boost in sales that week.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was linked to it, and they weren't ordering the eyeliner because obviously you couldn't at that point.
No.
But you still can't.
No.
But I think maybe people hadn't noticed me, and a new girl wanted to join my team that week as well. So it's all a bigger scheme, isn't it?
I think that's it. What's really great about these type of creative posts is that it sort of plants a lot of seeds in a lot of people's memories. And you know, people often say, oh, like I get known as the crazy lash lady, or I'm good at, you know, and that's it. Is that part of your branding is your creativity. So, you know, when I think of Maria, I think of her creative posts, and that is my link to thinking about younique from her. Some people, you know, only solely do mascara, some people focus on their lips, but you know, it's that's part of the branding element, is to kind of, you know, just make yourself stand out, I think. And this is a huge thing when people always say to me, oh, but there's so many people that do it, you know, how you know, I'm in a small town and there's 50 other people selling younique, you know, I can't possibly do it. Well, I think this proves that you really can, because as Maria is sat right next to me, we live in the same town, as along of about 30 other of Team Believe alone, plus there are other younique teams within our town. So I think this just does prove that with a little bit of creativity and kind of making yourself stand out, and that's kind of what I said to you initially, wasn't it, when we were chatting, was that you know, if you think about somebody scrolling through their phone, they are literally there just scrolling, not taking any interest in what anyone's doing. You need to be the thing that makes them stop and look. And generally, if it's a video, it's playing in the background. And generally, if I saw a video of somebody dressed up as Elsa singing, or you know, sliding down a kid's water slide, I generally would press and watch it. You know, it's like the cat thing. How many people watch crazy cats jumping around with cucumbers and stuff? You know, don't they? Everyone watches them.
That's a good idea.
I can't even stand cats, but yet I'll watch a video of cats jumping around from cucumbers. So it's that sort of, you've got to make yourself stand out a little bit. And I'm not for 1 minute kind of going, right, everyone go and start singing and being Elsa, because clearly the world is not ready for that kind of action. There's no way you'd get me singing and things like that. But that doesn't mean I can't be creative. There are obviously other ways to be creative. What Maria's trying to share is just ideas of how to slot it into your day-to-day life, and to share that younique is a part of your family, your day-to-day life. So what kind of apps do you use? You said about
I only use Viva Video and Instacollage.
So when you're editing videos now, you use Viva Video, and for your like different photo things, Instacollage. Yeah. Okay. So I use Pic-Collage mainly for mine. There is one called A Beautiful Mess where you can do swirly things on. I get a bit confused on that, if I'm honest. But that's me.
Not heard of that.
There's a Photofy, I think. Basically, it all depends on what phone you've got to what there is. But there is plenty of things available, and most of them are free. So just play around with them. So when you do some of your posts, do you post them all to your business page, or do you post them onto your profile, or do you do a mix, or do you post them into your customer group?
I post them all onto my business page, and then if it's something I'm particularly proud of, I'll share it to Maria Martin's normal Facebook page.
Yeah.
I tend to use my group more for, just offers and competitions and stuff.
So you don't generally put your random posts in there? No. Okay. So we've done about feedback frequency. Sort of how often do you try and do them types of posts? Do you try and post one of the sort of everyday things every day, or do you sort of set a target of like a few times a week?
I make sure, this sounds really crazy, but at least once a day that my face has been posted.
That the world is blessed with that.
Yeah. I mean, I say there'll be days where it hasn't, but like I normally do a morning post.
Yeah.
At the time people are waking up and looking at their phones. If I can, I do a lunchtime post, and then I will always do an evening post at about 7:30
onto your business page.
Onto my business page.
Yeah.
And if my face hasn't been on before 7:30, then 7:30 will be my face.
Look out for the face. But yeah, and to be honest, if Maria wasn't sat there, I would have been able to answer that for her, because I see the posts that come up on her page, and I can tell you, I know exactly when she's going to be posting. But that's good, because
sometimes at the weekend it's 8 or 9 o'clock
because we're getting late. But it just shows that it's that consistency. And yeah, everyone has a day here and there that life happens, illnesses, things like that. But it just shows that actually, as if you look at me as I'm just a regular person, I've picked up on that consistency, and I know when to expect it. And that's what your customers do. If you set a rhythm that you're posting once a day, twice a day, they look out for your posts. It doesn't get to the point like, oh God, there's another notification that there's a post. People start to want to look for your posts, and that's what it's almost like a following. So I think we've sort of covered how you come up with your posts. Is there anything you want to share about that element of it?
Can't really think of anything. I mean, yeah, a lot of it is inspired by Ava. That there'll be things like, for instance, if I am going out, which is rare, I will always do, like I went to the Cooks for a gig, so I thought I was going to just do my Cooks makeup, but then I thought, no, I'll Insta collage it with a picture of a mosh pit, because this is obviously mosh-proof makeup, and then the familiar text of the Cooks that everyone recognised, so there's like titling, and put that all in a collage, and that went down really well as well, because I think people, they were really happy that I'd made it out of the house, or they just thought, oh, she's gone to the Cooks tonight, and rather than just a picture of me looking fancy, I made it more relevant, and I think I've done a similar one when I was really hungover.
I remember, the other one, I remember you doing one of your classic ones is where you've come home from work and you opened it was a video, you opened your fridge and got out your glass of wine, and like this is what every working mum needs when they get home from work, kind of, which so many people could relate to. But actually what Maria was doing was sharing that lip stain doesn't come off. But she wasn't going, okay, lip stains, £18, doesn't budge.
I never mention prices.
I think that's really important, that actually then so you've got your photo or your video with your blurbage at the top. So you never put prices on. No. Give me an example of something you might say.
Okay, Google mascara, that's probably the easiest. I was quite renowned for the one eye trick as well. That was a bit cringe. What would I say? I would probably say something like, I remembered of quite an amusing post. I did a picture of a panda and a picture of a giraffe, and I put one eye, so there was a picture of my eyes, one with mascara, one without. Underneath the one without was a picture of a panda with no little eyes, and underneath the picture of the giraffe with the big eyelashes, and I just wrote, who wants to be a panda or who wants to be a giraffe? All girls want to be giraffes, surely. And it's ridiculous and funny, but like it had so many likes, and I got about 2 mascara orders from it. So I try to be really humorous.
Weird.
They're normally quite jokey. My
but they're never salesy, and I think that's that's really important, that you make all this effort to make a really creative video or post, and then you ruin it almost by going, okay, and it's buy now for me, here's my link. By removing that and being funny, being you, You know, clearly if you're not a class clown, then, you know, you're not going to be somebody you're not. You know, if you're amazing at makeup application, you could still make some really amazing makeup application videos, but creatively, you know, keep them short, keep them sweet. I think that's important, that they're short as well, isn't it? Just something, again, just if you just think of yourself with that phone, just that's how I think. Whenever I'm trying to create a post, I kind of think, what's going to make somebody stop? You know, with the panda and the giraffe thing, you know, you instantly be like, why is there somebody's eyes with a giraffe and a panda? You know, you're going to look and read it. And then when it's not salesy, you're more likely to then go, oh, okay, what is it about? And maybe ask, you know, things like that. Okay, so Maria also works, and she also has 2 young children. So obviously juggling Younique in with that can be quite challenging at times. I know many of the team are in similar situations. So how do you find the time to be so creative and be so consistent with your posts?
Normally my morning posts are planned in advance, and I schedule them on the business page scheduling. Okay. So I'll often on a Sunday night just schedule my morning posts. I don't schedule everything because I quite like to do some off the cuff random things. That is what is actually happening to me. But
so does that kind of, you look at it, so you've done your Sunday night for the week, so in your head, tick, I've done at least one post. I know that my business
the 7 days,
7 days worth of posts.
Yeah. Lunchtime will quite often be me shopping with my purple cards.
There is a lot of shopping.
And then the evening one will be normally the one that I've put the most effort into, and it's normally something related to what's happened in that day. So Monday to Sunday mornings are all completely scheduled. I don't think I'd ever have time to do them otherwise, because obviously mornings in my house are complete craziness.
Yeah, as I think, you know, generally any household that has work, kids, nursery, school, any of them things. So I think that's a really important thing, that, you know, it's not about, okay, oh my gosh, it's Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock and I haven't posted anything, quick just share a graphic. It is thinking ahead of, okay, I've got an hour of my time now, so I'm going to put them posts together while it's a bit quiet, while I can do it. I'm going to schedule them so I know they're in and they're done, and then as and when you can, you sort of bulk it up with a bit more spontaneity. And I think that's a big thing, because again, a lot of people struggle with time management. How do they get things done? And I think some people are always put off a little bit by scheduling, but I think actually when you're kind of juggling, I think it's a really important tool to use. I agree, I don't think it should be used for every single post, because I think otherwise you come across a bit robotic. I
mean, for something like the coops, I couldn't have scheduled that, because I needed the picture and I needed it to be when I was going.
When you're going, so I think, you know, I think scheduling has a part. So if you're a bit crazy in your world, then you know, definitely look at scheduling some posts onto your business page. I think last thing, how many, so say you do your 3 posts on your business page a day, how many of them would you show onto your normal profile? Do you do a regular once a day, or is it just if it's something a bit more?
I was doing a regular once a day, but I found that it wasn't getting any more interest than it had done on my business page. So I tend to now only do it if I really think it's quite special. I think if it's going to make
a difference,
if it's going to make a man that wouldn't buy makeup laugh or take notice, or a lady that was not interested in makeup, then I'll post it. I kind of keep my business pages, then people are genuinely interested in makeup. If it's funny or just really cool, then I'll put it on.
Or has giraffes in it.
Has giraffes in it,
So I expect over the next few days I want to see lots of giraffes up on my news feed.
We'll post the picture onto the
obviously we need to see the actual real giraffe panda image. And obviously, you know, you can find Maria's page, which is
Younique by Maria Martin UK,
and you can scroll through and find some inspiration. Obviously what we don't want to happen is to everyone to just like copy what Maria has done, because she works really hard.
It'll just be my face anyway.
And nobody needs to see Maria's face 60 times a day, obviously. But actually it's just to give you some ideas of you know, just to plant some seeds. And you know, again, you know, we can maybe start discussing some ideas in the comments and that, get some ideas together. Maybe if you could share a couple of your posts onto the comments.
I'll share the ones we've talked about, shall I?
Then you can maybe get some ideas from them. If you have an idea, we can brainstorm together. I do sometimes message Marie and go, okay, I'm looking at wanting to do this, but I don't kind of know what I could do. And we talk sometimes like, shit, I do steal some of her ideas. Her January blues one I did steal. But that's teamwork, so don't feel as though you can't use inspiration. I think that's all I kind of had in my notes to talk about. I hope you found it slightly helpful. And obviously any questions, please do ask. I'll pass them to Maria to answer for you.
And I'll send you a picture of a giraffe.
Okay, I hope you've helped, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, Tiffany. Bye, Tiffany. Hooked up by the button now.